If you like storytime vibes, hit subscribe and let's dive in together.
She smirked the moment I walked into the courtroom. That same flawless, rehearsed smirk she wore on magazine covers, at board meetings, and charity galas. The smile that could close million-dollar deals and shatter egos in seconds. But that day, her smile wasn't confidence. It was arrogance. And arrogance has a funny way of collapsing in on itself. Julia sat across from me, poised, radiant, untouchable. Her designer suit was perfectly pressed, her hair sculpted into that effortless wave that probably took an hour to achieve. She looked like power itself sitting there, legs crossed, eyes sharp, chin lifted. Next to her was her high-priced lawyer, a man whose job was to make sure I left with nothing. Behind them, her new lover, a younger consultant from her firm, adjusted his tie, trying to look like he belonged in her world. He didn't. He just didn't know it yet. And in the front row sat Julia's mother, pearls gleaming, her perfume thick enough to choke on. She didn't say a word, but her expression screamed judgment. She'd always hated me. Said I was too quiet, too ordinary for her daughter, the visionary. When the judge entered, everyone stood. I looked at Julia. Her hands were trembling slightly. She mistook that for excitement, but I knew better. I'd seen that tremor before, when she lied. The hearing began. Her lawyer rose with an air of victory already won. "Your Honor," he began smoothly, "we request full control of the shared assets. Mr. Dalton signed the prenuptial agreement. Mrs. Dalton's company was built solely through her talent, hard work, and vision." Julia leaned slightly forward, her lips curling into that signature smirk. Then she turned to me and whispered, "You'll never touch my money again." Her lover chuckled under his breath. Her mother smiled like she'd just witnessed divine justice. The judge raised an eyebrow, then looked down at the sealed envelope I had placed before him earlier that morning. "Mr. Dalton," he said, "would you like to explain this document you've submitted to the court?" I shook my head slowly. "No, Your Honor. I think it explains itself." He slit it open, glanced at the first page, and stopped. A smile spread across his face. Then, to everyone's shock, he laughed. The sound echoed in the cold courtroom like thunder. Julia's smile faltered. Her lawyer stiffened. Even her lover sat up straight, frowning. "Oh," the judge said, still chuckling. This is good." That's when I saw it. The first flicker of panic in her eyes. 6 years earlier, Julia was different. Or maybe I just believed she was. She was ambition wrapped in charm. When we first met, she was a junior executive with fire in her veins. I was a quiet financial analyst working late nights at her father's firm. One evening, she walked in drenched from the rain, still in her evening dress, a storm of confidence and chaos. She leaned over my desk, studying my spreadsheets. "These look like poetry to me," she said with a grin. I laughed. I shouldn't have. That was the first time I mistook manipulation for affection. From that night, we were inseparable. She dreamed big, and I supported her every step of the way. She said she'd build the empire, and I'd protect it. And I did. When she launched her company, I became the man behind the curtain, managing finances, shielding her from risk, making her dream real. She climbed fast. Too fast. Investors loved her. The media adored her. And me? I was the shadow, the invisible hand making sure her empire didn't collapse. But somewhere along the way, I stopped being her partner and became her stepping stone. It started small. She changed her perfume, something colder, sharper. She started turning her phone face down. Board meetings stretched into business dinners. The laughter between us became silence. Then, one night, she came home drunk, smelling of whiskey and another man's cologne. She stumbled into bed and whispered a name that wasn't mine. That was the night I stopped being her husband and started being her plan. But I didn't yell. I didn't confront her. I didn't break anything. Because rage is easy. Revenge is art. The next morning I made her breakfast. I kissed her forehead as she showered. And while the water ran, I logged into her email. Hundreds of messages. Her and her consultant. Plans, meetings, hidden accounts, fake invoices, coded messages about moving assets. She wasn't just cheating on me. She was erasing me, rewriting our life to exclude me from everything we built. That night, while she slept beside me, I stared at the ceiling and made my decision. I wasn't going to destroy her. I was going to let her destroy herself. For 11 months, I played my role, the loving, clueless husband. I smiled. I nodded. I cooked dinner. And while she prepared her freedom, I built her cage. I gathered every document, every transaction, every offshore account she thought I didn't know about. I organized it all neatly and anonymously sent it to 3 places: her board's ethics committee, the Federal Tax Bureau, and her mother. Then came the masterpiece. I created a trust fund under her name, using the same money she'd been laundering to her lover's fake company. Every transfer was digitally signed by her, every wire traceable to her personal accounts. I gave her what she wanted most: total ownership, and with it, total accountability. When the divorce papers arrived, I didn't hesitate. I signed immediately. She took my calmness for defeat. She didn't realize that silence can be the loudest kind of war. Back in the courtroom, her lawyer was sweating now. "Your Honor, I'm not sure what that document—" The judge interrupted, tapping the pages. "It's a confession, though not from Mr. Dalton. These appear to be falsified tax statements, fraudulent transfers, insider trading, all traced back to Mrs. Dalton." Julia froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. "That's absurd," she shouted finally. "I would never—" Her lover leaned forward nervously. "She doesn't know anything about—" The judge held up a hand. "Every transaction here is signed with her verified digital signature." Her mother's expression cracked for the first time. Julia turned to me, eyes wide, voice trembling. "What did you do?" I looked at her, calm, almost compassionate. "You wanted it all," I said softly. "I just made sure you got it." The judge cleared his throat. "Given this evidence, the court will suspend financial proceedings pending further investigation. Mrs. Dalton, you should speak with your counsel." Her lawyer sank into his chair. Her lover leaned back, pale as a ghost. Julia's empire, her pride, her legacy, began to crumble in real time. And I just sat there, silent, watching her kingdom burn. Outside, reporters swarmed the courthouse. Cameras flashed, microphones shoved into faces. Everyone wanted a quote, a reaction, a tear. But I gave them nothing. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Within a week, her company's stock collapsed. The media turned on her. Her lover vanished overseas. Her mother stopped returning her calls. The invincible Julia Dalton, once the face of female power and success, became the face of fraud, deceit, and downfall. I didn't take a single dollar from her. I didn't need to. I took something far more precious: her image, her control, her silence. Because when you've lived in someone's shadow long enough, you learn exactly where to place the light when it's time for them to burn. And the best part? I never lied. I didn't forge a single document, didn't falsify a thing. I simply showed the world who she truly was. Justice doesn't always wear a robe. Sometimes it wears a smile.